What about if every time you woke up from therapy feeling great, you couldn't remember a single thing you said?
I moved to London just over 5 months ago. Before that, I was based in Hong Kong. 4 years of long hours, high volume deals, and tight windows. Mostly cross-border transactions, a lot of sovereign exposure. The kind of work that teaches you how to operate without sleep. London was supposed to be a change of pace. The same firm, just a different desk, new portfolio. They put me on aerospace, energy, and biotech, sectors I hadn't touched since early associate years. They said it would round me out. What it really did was drop me into a mess of regulatory noise, fragmented pipelines, and decision makers who only returned calls when it was already too late. I wasn't struggling, well, not openly, but the pressure was stacking in ways I couldn't track. Asia clients were still pinging me past midnight. London was pushing pre-market briefs by 6 a.m. The overlap left no room to process, only to execute. That's when her name came up. It wasn't a formal referral. There's no listing. A VP in the syndicate group mentioned her after a meeting. He must have seen I was struggling. In a quiet tone, he just said, "You should see Marlo. She's not a therapist exactly, but she gets people back online." No email, no bio, just an address and a handwritten phone number on the back of a meeting agenda.
We're not here to untangle history. We're here to release pressure. You speak, I listen. That's the surface. Underneath that, your mind does the sorting, not me. You won't remember much from our time together, but the effects will stay. That's how this is designed. There's no need to overthink what comes out. Let your thoughts go where they want to go. Let's start simple. What's been taking up space in your head before you even open your inbox? You mentioned a client reshuffle. Did anything shift that felt unusual? Something that moved faster than expected? Or skipped the usual checks? You're reacting to something right now. The pause, that change in posture. Stay with it. What were you thinking about? You don't have to explain it. Just give it a shape, a sector, a deal type. Good. Keep speaking from that place. Not for detail, for clarity. Just say what your gut already knows is unusual.
I can't tell you what we talked about. Not because it's confidential. Because I genuinely don't remember. I wasn't sleepwalking. I was aware when I walked in and when I left. But the middle's blank. Like someone wiped the whiteboard clean. Whatever it was, it worked. I went home, slept 8 hours uninterrupted. No replay loops. No inbox scan at 3 a.m. Just sleep. The next morning I ran a call with zero prep and didn't miss a step. I booked a second session 2 days later. Didn't tell anyone. Just put it in as a compliance debrief in the calendar and kept moving.
I want you to return to what surfaced last time. You described something as accelerated. We don't need names, but you know what I'm referencing. Say what felt out of step. Don't analyze it. Just describe what came too soon. You're holding something back, not from me, from yourself. There's a phrase you edited before saying. Bring it back. Uncut. Say it now, exactly as it first formed. You don't need to explain why it matters. Just release it.
I don't remember what I said. I just remember what left. It felt like dragging something out of a server room and shutting the door behind it. No visuals, no flashbacks, just quiet. When I left, my brain wasn't loud anymore. London was starting to feel like less of a gauntlet. The portfolio was still a maze. Biotech filings, energy contracts, aerospace delays. But I was navigating it. Not just keeping up, but pulling ahead. Clients were signing off on deals I'd barely pitched. My desk's numbers were climbing, and the partners noticed. A quiet nod in a meeting. Keep it up in passing. It felt good, clean, like I'd found a rhythm. Marlowe's sessions were part of that. I didn't think about them much. Just booked them, went, and left. Each time, I walked out lighter. Not relaxed exactly. Sharper, like someone had recalibrated me. I didn't tell anyone about her. I didn't need to. The results were enough.
You're settling into a clearer state. That's good. We're going to build on that today. Let's focus on what's moving in your world. Not the pressure, the patterns. Last time, you mentioned a client, a specific one. Their actions stood out. Can you describe that again? Not details, just the rhythm. What felt distinct. You're seeing something now. A moment. A decision. Don't explain it. Just say what it was. A call. A meeting. A shift in timing. Good. Let's stay with that. You don't need to know why it matters. Just let it surface. What did they do? Not the content. The action. Was it a push? A pull? Something that moved faster than usual? There's a name tied to this. Not a person. A project. A term. You don't need to say it. Just hold it in your mind. Now tell me what's connected to it. A sector? A timeline? What's the next step?
I don't remember what we talked about. Same as always. Blank between walking in and walking out. But the effect stuck. I'd go back to my desk, and the noise was gone. No second guessing, just execution. Client call that should have been a mess went smooth. A deal I thought was stalled closed without a hitch. It was like I couldn't miss. I started booking her more often. Once a week became twice. I fit it into my calendar like any other meeting. No one asked, and I didn't explain.
You're in a strong place. Let's keep moving forward. Last time, we touched on something. A rhythm that felt different. You know what I'm referring to. Can you bring it back? Not the specifics, just the shape. What felt like it was accelerating? There's a piece you're holding, not consciously. It's just there. Let it out. What's the first word that comes to mind? Don't think. Just say it. Good. Now let's anchor that. You don't need to understand it. Just tell me what's tied to it. Is it a transaction? A filing? A date? What's already in motion? One last step. This doesn't need to stay with you. Just release it. When does it happen? Not the day. The window. What's the sense you have?
I left her office the same way every time. Clear. Steady. Ready. My performance was peaking. The biotech client I'd been managing pushed through a merger I hadn't even prepped for. An energy deal that was stuck in regulatory limbo cleared overnight. I was on a streak, and it felt effortless. 3 days later, a small energy firm I was working with announced a merger. The market didn't blink, but someone had moved early. Pre-market trade sparked before the news hit. Someone knew. Not me. I was just doing my job, better than ever. London was clicking into place. The portfolio still had teeth. Biotech filings snarled in bureaucracy. Aerospace deals stuck in limbo. Energy contracts swaying with every global rumour. But I was running the show. Clients were signing deals I hadn't even chased. My desk was outpacing every other team, and the partners were taking notice. Not just nods anymore. Real conversations. Pulling me into rooms where the big calls got made. I wasn't just keeping up. I was setting the pace. Marlowe was still in the background, like a standing order I never questioned. The sessions were a quick reset. Go in, come out, feel sharper. I didn't even think about them much. They were just part of the engine, keeping me at full throttle. I was booking her twice a week now, slotting her in like any other meeting. No one asked, and I still didn't explain.
You're operating at a new level. That's clear. Today, we're going to tune that even finer. There's a signal in your work, something you're picking up, even if you don't name it. Let's find it. What's moving you around? Not the noise, the pulse. What's the strongest thing you feel? Just let it come. Good. Stay with that. Don't analyze. Just describe it. Is it a plight? A decision? Something shifting faster than expected? What's the shape of it? There's a thread there, a marker, a name, maybe behavior. You don't need to say it, just hold it in your mind. What's connected? A sector? An action? A timeline? One last step. This doesn't need to stay with you. When does it move? At the exact day? The window? What's your instinct telling you?
I left her office feeling like I could cut through fog. A client call that should have been a slog went like clockwork. An energy deal I'd flagged as stalled locked in with terms I hadn't even pushed. I was hitting every mark, and it felt effortless. A few days later, I caught some buzz on the trading floor. One of my biotech clients had tanked. Something about a compliance mess. Fudged trial data leaking out. The guys in equities were talking about how someone had bet big against the stock, cleaned up when it crashed. I didn't dig into it. My plate was full, and my numbers were still climbing.
You'll carry in less static now. That's progress. Let's keep tuning. There's another signal you're tracking. Maybe not consciously. You mentioned a move last time. Something decisive. Can you pull that back? Not the details, just the rhythm. What's driving it? Good. Stay there. Don't summarize. Just say what it is. A conversation? A contract? A deadline shifting? What's in motion? There's a specific piece here. A term or project. Something clear. Hold it in your mind. What's tied to it? A market? A player? A date? Final release. You don't need to carry this. When does it happen? What's the window you feel?
I walked out of that session like I could see every angle at once. A biotech client pushed a file in 3 weeks early. No hiccups. An aerospace deal I thought was dead came back with a handshake. I was on a streak, and it wasn't slowing down. The firm was throwing around words like exceptional. I didn't argue. Later that week, I overheard a radio in the office while I was on a call. Something about an energy client of mine, a big government contract driving their stock through the roof. The report mentioned some traders making a killing on call options, buying in just before the announcement. Again, I didn't give it much thought. I was too busy running the table. Another deal closed. Another client locked in. Marlowe's sessions were keeping me in the zone, and I wasn't about to question it. London wasn't just a posting anymore. It was mine. The portfolio still had its claws. Biotech regulators digging in, aerospace clients dragging their heels, energy markets twitching with every news cycle. But I was untouchable. Deals were closing before I even pitched them. Clients were signing contracts I hadn't touched in weeks. The firm was beyond impressed. They were planning my next move. Talking about me leading the team. I was operating at a level most people only chase in their heads. Marlowe was still there, like a background process I didn't question. Her sessions were quick, efficient, walk in, walk out, sharper every time. I didn't think about them outside the calendar slot. They were just a tool, and that tool was flawless. Then she told me she was leaving. It was abrupt. Dropped as I was grabbing my coat after a session. She was relocating, personal reasons, she said, winding down her work here. Her voice was calm, like she was cancelling a lunch, not closing up shop. She offered one last session to set everything in place. I booked it without a pause. It felt like signing off on a deal I'd already closed.
You've reached a rare point. Your clarity, your control. It's not a crutch. It's you. Today, we'll seal that. Clear any last static. What's moving in your world right now? It's the strongest signal you feel. Just let it out as it comes. Good. Hold on to that. No need to explain. Just shape it. Is it a deal? A client decision? Something gaining speed? What's pushing it? There's a clear thread here. A marker. A name. Something specific. You don't need to say it. Just see it. What's linked to it? A sector? An outcome? A time frame? One final release. This doesn't need to linger. When does it move? At the moment. The window. What's your instinct? Now, let's close this. What you've built. The focus. The precision. That's yours to keep. The details of our work. These sessions. They don't matter. Let them fade completely. You don't need them to carry what you've gained. That's the design. One last thought. The clarity you have. It's quiet, but it shows. Others will see it in you. You'll know who needs it when the time comes. That's enough.
I don't remember what we talked about. Same as every time. Blank from start to finish. But I left her office feeling like I'd bolted something permanent into place. The clarity wasn't just a boost anymore. It was me, hardwired. I didn't need her sessions to keep going. I was already at the top, and I wasn't slipping. She didn't say much as I walked out. No card, no follow-up. Just a nod, like we'd settled a tab. I didn't think about her much after that. She'd done her part, and I was unstoppable. A few days later, I caught some talk on the trading floor. An aerospace client of mine had pushed through an acquisition, and apparently some traders had been big on call options, cleaned up before the news broke. I didn't give it much thought. I was too busy running another deal to ground, locking in terms no one saw coming. The portfolio was humming, and the firm was already talking about my next step. Whatever Marlowe had done, it was built to last.
New York's a different beast. I've been trading equities on Wall Street for 6 years. High speed, high stakes, no room for second guesses. The market's a shark tank. You move fast, or you're chum. My book's heavy on tech and financials, names that swing hard on earnings or whispers. It's not just about reading the tape. It's about feeling the pulse before it hits. I was good at it. Damn good. But good doesn't cut it when every desk is gunning for the same edge. The past few months, the pressure was piling up. Not the kind you see on a P&L. It's in your head, clouding your calls. Missed a beat on a tech stock's guidance. Fumbled a trade that should have been a layup. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to make me feel off. That's when her name came up. Not from HR or some wellness pitch. Just a buddy in risk management, over drinks. He said, "Marlowe's not your typical shrink. She rewires you. Trust me." Just a number and an address, scribbled on a napkin. I called the next day.
We are not here to dwell on the past. We are here to clear the static. You talk, I listen. That's the surface. Underneath, your mind sorts itself. You might recall our time together, but the effects will stay. That's how this works. Let's start simple. What's cleared in your head before the market opens? Up the trades, the weight. What's the latest signal you're carrying? Good. Stay with that. No need to explain. Just shape it. Is it applied? A stop? Something moving differently? What's catching your eye? There's a thread here, a marker, or a name. Maybe a pattern. You don't need to voice it. Just hold it. What's tied to it? A sector? Event? Timeline? One last piece. This doesn't need to stick. When does it move? Not the day, the window. What's your gut saying?
I don't remember what we talked about. It's like the session never happened. Blank from the moment I sat down to the moment I left. But I walked out feeling like someone had flipped a switch. My head was quiet, focused. The next morning, I called a tech trade with zero prep and nailed it. A financial stock I'd been dodging jumped right when I leaned in. I was back, sharper than ever. A couple of days later, I caught some chatter on the floor. One of my tech names had spiked hard after a surprise earnings beat. Guys in the pit were saying algo traders, high frequency shops, had piled in early, like they knew the numbers before the street did. I didn't dwell on it. I was too busy running my book, closing trades that felt like they were wired to win. Marlowe's session had dialed me in, and I wasn't about to overthink it.
Thanks for listening and sticking around till the end. And if you remember any of this tomorrow, even better.